All right, I did add more of the burnt sienna over here, quite a bit, and so forth.
It
I don't
looks
know whether you
much
could see it
better.
on the video, but I balanced it off in a different way. Janet saw it right away, so did I. Uh, so, I mean, she's learned something in the last 6 years.
Excellent.
But
Yeah, it
I
really
pulled all
looks
that over and I
so much
pulled
better.
some blue up into here, some of
Yeah.
the burnt sienna up into here. And I didn't want to make it equal because
Yeah.
I don't want things equal, but I did bring it in through here, out here, trailed it across so it's not divided like it was before.
Makes a big difference. Wow.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it really pops and looks colorful. And I mean, it was colorful before, but it's like it's all around. It's
Yeah.
so integrated.
Okay, let's bring the lights up because that light that I have washes out things quite rapidly. So I'm always very careful on when I'm photographing these things. I have to bring the light down because it really just wipes everything out. Okay, this is what we're working on finishing up today. We'll see how much time it takes to finish it. And the other one is going to be very simply expressed and not overworked or too much detail. And I was going to do it a little bit more expressionistic. Um, but I was looking at this painting that we started last week, and the instead of going back to the background, which the background needs a little bit of work, I'm going to see how to push these out a little bit more. I'm going to work on the rocks first and then go into the logs and then back to the background. So we'll see how long it takes. So looking at the rocks, I treated them as a mass, basically individual. A few of them you can see popping up, but I want to play this negative dark here against the rocks and then go into the rocks. So it pushes the rocks out just a little bit more. So I'm going to take the ultramarine blue and a little bit of the burnt sienna, and I'm going to start to very casually. I don't want straight lines down here of the logs because logs are not straight, obviously. But I do want to handle this to where you're seeing things go in and out of shadow. I'm going to play the dark up against the rocks here. And if you have any questions, please yell. And then putting in a few accents of darks in there. We'll see how they dry. But I don't want to have these continuous lines of dark underneath here. It's kind of a broken pattern of value. As soon as we get into having all these things look too much the same, I'm trying to make them feel crooked, kind of cracked up, broken a little bit, so that we don't have all that straightness going on down here. So I added more burnt sienna to this also. I'm going to take a little bit of the blue here and kind of wrap a shadow around some of them. But I'm doing it very, very casually. If I sat there and made it look too perfect, uh, it just wouldn't work with the rest of the painting. And that way I can kind of manipulate the shapes of the logs a little bit more. I can take a little bit of manganese here with that blue and gray it slightly and start using that up in here a little bit more. Take a little bit of the green. And kind of just, I have these branches that, the old branches that are kind of stuck on the logs here. But if we kind of camouflage some of the brightness of the logs by running cast shadows across them, it could be from outside sources, just so that they don't look, they're all the same. We want to have a little bit more variety in our shapes and so forth. Now I'm going to go into the second phase on the logs itself. So I'm taking some burnt sienna. And I'm going to play one rock off of another. I'll take the smaller number 6 here for some. I'm not even going to touch from the first wash. So I'm painting the negative areas in at this point so that they are starting to form some of the rocks. It's a matter of, I think, suggestion, making it look rugged, so that you're not painting perfect rounded edges on the rocks. You want to try to create a little bit more roughness to it. So I'm using some pure burnt sienna here. And I'm going to take a little bit of the manganese here with the burnt sienna. So I'm trying to bring all the colors that are up there down into here in a one form or another. And then the last wash I'm going to do right over here. I'm going to tone that whole area down here so that we don't notice too much light in the corner. It'll attract the eye the wrong way. And I'll take the toothbrush, cover the logs, take a little bit of burnt sienna, and while it's still wet, I'm going to give this it's got a little bit of wetness to it, but not a lot. And I'll take a little bit of that color and up into the logs a little bit, especially nearest to us. So that handling the logs very simply up in here, the negative shapes, having cast shadows cast across them, making sure that they have a little bit of rhythm to it, being crooked. They're not going to be the perfect straight uh, logs here. And I allowed some of the branches, the old branches that are not really apparent that much, but I did put in quite a few. And then I came into the uh, rocks here, bringing some warmth down here and some coolness down in front here on the lower right and across. And I only developed these rocks a little bit more in here, nothing more there, just in here. And then I'll go back into the background. But don't overhandle it, don't overthink it, and be very casual about it. There we go. And I got to take a picture of this.
Uh-huh.
Because if I don't take a picture, I'm in trouble. Because that picture is real heavy in the front weight wise, and I was trying to lighten the load just a little bit on that. We had a little bit of excitement next door yesterday. They tore down the house with a big tractor,
Oh, wow.
big crane tractor. The people that lived there weren't paying their taxes. It wasn't a nice house. And so they lost the house, as the previous owners did. Each of them lived there about 5, 6 years. And it was up for sale. The house was uninhabitable. It was terrible. And they brought the crane in yesterday and knocked the whole thing down in a matter of minutes. And all these bats came flying out everywhere.
Big bat.
Because Marilee and I were over there talking to the guys, and there were just hundreds of them flying around.
Oh, my gosh.
So the mosquito population should go down around here.
Big bats. Oh.
Hey, Dan, you can tell me what to do. Mine's different from yours. I didn't get the logs as cattywampus as yours.
Well, they're all right, but you can lift out a few logs right across the ones that you have, because I've got these little ones in between here.
Yeah, and I'm missing that.
Just lift them out, and
Okay, I'll see what I can
you'll
do.
make it a little bit more interesting.
Okay.
Well, here's this.
Okay. You need to lift out some lights in the logs
Uh-huh.
in order to balance off some of the darks that are going to be in the rocks. And
Okay.
you have a lot of darks in the rocks, but I've added the burnt sienna in here. You notice just in this area here, a little bit up there. And then I added more of the blue in here, which was the
Okay.
manganese and the little bit of the burnt sienna, which toned it down. I'm not going to overwork the rocks because
Uh-huh.
I would then divide the composition up too much.
Yep.
So it's kind of going to drift into the logs and the rocks, but not be strong, a strong statement of that. Now, if I had a human standing right here on the logs, then
Yeah.
it would embellish this area more, and that would fall back, as long as I don't work back there too much. But I'm not going to put a human on there at this point. It would make a stronger focal point, yes. And then our neighbor on the other side of us, uh, the husband picked up his motorcycle in Oklahoma last week, and he's been riding the county highways like a 12-year-old.
It's a tricycle.
It's a trike.
Oh.
And he's just bombing around like a 12-year-old. I was going to town and he was going the other way, and he's waving and he's got a smile from ear to ear.
This company only makes about 100 a year,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
and this thing is $60,000.
Whoa.
Well, he got a settlement from a lady who hit him on his motorcycle,
T-bone.
T-boned him, and the car ended up over him where he was laying in the ditch.
Uh,
The car wasn't on him, but it was over him.
The man's had 13 heart attacks.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's got more than 9 lives as a cat.
I would say so.
He's quite funny. And his wife said this is the last toy he's getting.
Okay, so I kind of made a little
All right,
variety. Actually, it's not
that's getting
showing.
better. Yeah, that's
I
getting
mean-
better. You need to add a few more accentuated darks up front here. You notice it's
Yeah.
darker here, and it gets
Huh.
lighter as it goes back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't make
Okay.
them all the same. It's darker up front, lighter as it goes back.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, are the rocks okay? Can I
The
leave
rocks
them or
still need more form.
more form? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's a matter of a brush stroke to create a rock and so forth,
Yeah,
so that they have various colors in them, and they kind of still are merged together to a great degree.
yeah,
When you have rocks like that, as we did in that waterfall, you want to work them as a unit first,
Yeah.
and then cut away the rocks that are important and make them a little bit more defined, but you don't want to define them everywhere equally.
yeah, yeah. Rocks are still a big challenge for
Well,
me.
they
Yeah.
are. I can remember my first painting with rocks. And then I found, oh, this works well for the rocks. And then suddenly all the rocks were identical to one another in size, texture, color. And I'm going, well, I ruined that one. Yeah, it looked like I had a stencil.
Yeah, this is quite difficult.
Yeah, and that's why I thought it was warranted to take it into this session.
Yeah.
I haven't found a photograph for the last 2 weeks yet, but I will soon this weekend. I was looking at a train trestle with like 17, 18
That's
people
nice.
walking across the top of it in a train with smoke.
Good, I like it.
And
Yes.
Remember, we don't have class next week.
Oh, that's right.
And on the
That's the
registration.
4th of July. That's right.
Oh, we don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I'm at. Can you
All right.
see
That's
that?
good. Yeah. You can lift out the logs a little bit longer in here, Janet, all the way across the paper.
Okay.
I'm not seeing that. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong. I didn't shape them. That's why it's underneath, but the
Maybe make it a little bit more prominent, just a tad more.
right.
Thanks for pointing out next week because I totally forgot about it.
I figured.
I thought about it and then forgot.
Yeah, well,
Is this any better?
yes, it's better. Your rocks do need some help because
Yes, they
you're
do.
over brushing them, you're overworking them right away. And I was
Mhm.
being very simple on the formation of it. The next pass through after I come back from the background will define them, and I'll have you I'll show you what you can do with cutting away some individual rocks. But
Okay.
leave them alone at this point.
Okay.
Do you remember what color that's manganese in the water above that long log? Because that's why you're not seeing the log. The long log at the bottom, right above
This one here or this one?
there. And there's water, right? Keep going. Keep
Yeah,
going.
I
No,
started adding manganese in this part right here.
not there. Go the other way.
Go this way.
No, go the other side of your paper.
Here.
There you go. Now go
I added more of the straight
up.
manganese.
Straight manganese. Okay,
Yes.
that's what you
I'll
think.
do the cast shadows later. Yeah, because next Wednesday, July 1, I'm doing a demonstration at a restaurant out in the woods. They're doing a 4th of July celebration with artists all
Wow.
over the town and a little bit on the outskirts. So I'll be doing a demonstration out there for 2 hours.
It's a wine bar and restaurant.
It's a wine bar and restaurant. So
Woo-hoo!
from 11 in the morning till you know what Marilee will be doing.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to sample that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Someone's got to make sure it's okay.
Uh-huh.
So funny.
So Dale, I figured out what I need to do next for that flower garden thing.
Yeah.
Because you said that the black and white, the grayscale printout was fine. So I need to paint it in grayscale. And if I can get the values worked out in grayscale,
That will
I'll know
help
what-
you. Yeah.
I'll know what to do when I'm using, when I'm adding color on
Right.
top.
And
Yeah.
try to make the darks hang together a little bit more. So
Uh-huh.
they're not fractured.
So it's not separate items.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be a challenge, but it's kind of like next step,
Yes,
How
it
do I
is.
move? Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with working in values. I mean, you could take one color that's very dark and use that as your value changes. You don't have to work in black.
Oh, I thought what I'd do was ultramarine and burnt sienna,
That's
as
fine.
as the
That-
dark.
That's
and
a
just-
great combination of color.
Yeah, right. So who knows when I'll get to it or if I'll get to it, but that's kind of like what I need to do.
Okay. That will work. working in one or two colors, looking for your light and dark pattern, has
Yeah.
a tendency of zeroing things out with not worrying about color, but you're worried about only value.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll do that occasionally just to play with the value pattern, see how I could
Right,
make
right,
it
yeah.
work better.
So something that's got a whole lot of separate, tiny little objects.
And
The issue is how to bring it all together.
yeah, put the photograph 6 feet away from you when you're doing that.
Okay, thank you. Will do.
So
But,
it will simplify all those little crazy things that go on.
yeah. Okay, so the rocks have more definite. Well, they're still
Yeah,
kind of blocked.
that's better. That's
Okay.
better.
Should I bring them up a little more?
Just a tad, not much.
It looks great until I put it up under the camera. Then it's like, what? Where'd that go?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I can see now that the very first wash, because I was so aggressive, makes it so much more difficult later on.
Yeah. Usually if you're too aggressive at the beginning, you'll lose the painting.
Yep.
The thing about working from light to dark, if you have to work lighter at the beginning and build it up slowly, you'll have better control, better confidence about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you can't go too much wrong.
Yeah.
Because once you go too dark, it's hard to manipulate the values and you'll lose a lot of the light, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But you're getting there.
There you go.
Okay, good, Janet.
Yeah. Nice.
Good.
I like those rocks.
Yeah, they worked out nice. Okay.
That's so tough. This is just such a cool painting. I would love to redo it. Can we do it again?
Do it again.
Flip it, Tim.
Like
I'll flip it.
for the next painting for the next 2 weeks, can we do this one again?
You could landscape instead of portrait.
Yeah.
I like doing, I mean, we rarely do portraits, so it's so fun that you decided to do it this way.
Well, it's most of your landscapes that you see most of the time are in landscape. In other
In
words,
landscape.
This is a portrait format.
Of a landscape.
Yeah. And sometimes, occasionally I'll work in a square if I have, which is the hardest thing to work in to make things move right. But if I have a square frame that warrants that, I'll work in a square, which is kind of fun to do, but you got to be careful about how you make the eye move to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going back into the background at this point, and I'm going to take the manganese here with a little bit of the burnt sienna right there, and I want to kind of cool these trees down a little bit back here, not too much. And I have to be careful about not going too dark. And there were some darks back in here that if I darken this up, I have to adjust this over here, which I will. And I'm also going to drag some of the burnt sienna back there on the shoreline so that it doesn't become isolated color up front only. So I'm going to add a little bit of that in certain areas back here, and then over here a little bit more because it's closer to us. And that will help unify the painting. I'm not worried about what the photograph is telling me, and I'm going to take these logs and add a little bit of that to it also. Now we're going to go up into the mountains. This is where we have to be very careful not to overwork the mountain itself. And I'm looking at this up in here, how it carries up. And I'm going to take a little bit of the green and a touch of the ultramarine blue. There we go. It's grayed down, and I want to kind of bring this up into, I'm going to be kind of very careful about overstating this because we have those pines that go up the mountains. But the reason why I'm doing that is that I need to push this back and this to come forward. So I'm using some more darks in here than what might be there, but I think it will work. And that does push that back. And I'm going to bring a little bit of it down these crevices in here, just a slight bit. I don't want to overstate that either. And I'm just dry brushing this in just a little bit. And I've really simplified some of the shapes in the mountain on purpose. That big landslide of that lighter value here looks like smaller rocks that fell in. That kind of, I omitted some of that. But somebody that hasn't been there wouldn't really notice it. And I'm just adding a little bit of description to this, and I'm going to take a little bit of the burnt sienna and the green, and I want to tone this down a little bit more so this comes out just a little bit more. So I'm going to add some of the burnt sienna in up here very, very lightly so that it kind of changes value and temperature a little bit more. Now, back here on this side, before I go back into the mountain back there, I do want to make this a little bit darker for the fact that I want this to pull away from this back in here. And I'm going to just dry brush this very quickly and then kind of teeter it off as I get back to here. I don't want to do the whole pine stand here being darker, especially up against the border here, just down towards the bottom because it's closer to us. Like so that pushes this out a little bit. Now, I need to
Wait, what colors were you using to darken the trees on the right?
The ultramarine blue, the sap green, and a touch of the burnt sienna. And what I'm going to do is that I'm not fond of this peak right here. So I'm going to lighten that up a little bit. So I'm lifting that a little bit out, like so. And I'm going to take a little bit of the ultramarine blue and mix it in here, and then add a lot of water to it. Tap off the brush, and I want this to be a little bit darker right here. And then I have a little bit of dark in here. I'm going to use the same color, kind of dry brushing it on. I got a few little things that go on here and over here, kind of through the clouds up there. I'm assuming they're clouds. And I'm going to add a little bit more of some value changes in here. This I'm going to kind of connect down a little bit more. So these are small value patterns within the mountain that need it to adjust it here. I'm not doing anything on top for the fact that I don't want to bring the top forward. It's leaning back, so that's going to be quite a bit different in value. It's going to be a lot lighter.
So what colors are those?
These are the ultramarine, a little bit of the burnt sienna, and I pulled some sap green in, just a slight bit. There's lots of times where I'll put down color and it looks too dark, and I'll just take a damp brush. It stained the paper, which is what I wanted, but I didn't want to keep it that dark, so I'll lift up a little bit with a damp brush. And then soften the edges with a damp brush. You just gotta tease things in at this point. Go slow. And I'm gonna take a little bit of the ultramarine blue and the manganese, and I'm gonna put it right up in here just a little bit. And later on, I'm gonna float some other color through there with the white in it. It'll be translucent. And I'm going to tone this down back here so it falls behind the trees, and this comes out a little bit more. Let's see. I'm going to take a little bit of the raw sienna, just a slight bit, mix it with the manganese here a little bit. And as this comes down, I'm going to warm this up just a little bit. Woo. Grab some white there by accident. I'm going to add a little bit in here. Like so. I'm going to add a little bit of warmth with the raw sienna in here to tone these real light logs down back here. Because they're coming forward. I just want these logs coming forward here. Okay. Then I'm going to take the manganese, and I still feel that I'm going to take a little bit of that raw sienna. I still feel that this middle part needs a little bit more color value. And then I'm going to taper it off to the sides very lightly. Come in here again. I'm going to add a little bit more value in here. And then take a damp brush and kind of tease it in together, because those lights in the lake were too light by the time they dried. Then I'm going to come over here and add some more value in. And then I'm going to kind of back and forth a little bit, right down to the logs. And now that is a much stronger application of the color and the value. I'm going to take a little bit more manganese right up in here. And then a little bit more right down in here. So that's made the lake much stronger, what it should be. Still needs to be toned there, because the lightest part of the lake is right here. So I'm going to squeeze that in a little bit. Add a little bit of manganese between the logs there. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. So what I did this time around is I went into the background and I gave the pine trees back here, a little bit of manganese to cool them. I darkened these in here a little bit more, only at the bottom. I added burnt sienna in on the shoreline, which is not there, and it's there's a little bit over here, but I kind of added a little bit more. Then I softened the edge up here. I brought these trees up as a little bit more of a statement in here, and just up the edge here and a little bit in here. I toned this down with a little bit of burnt sienna, so I'm transferring some of the color back in a different form. And then I softened this and I added some darks up in here, nothing up in here. And then I added a little bit of raw sienna down in here, and then I toned the lake with more of the manganese and a little bit of the raw sienna. But the lightest part of the lake, which has a certain reflective quality, and I'm going to lighten this up just a little bit here because that's where the lightest part of the lake is at. I needed to have it set there a bit before I did anything. And then I'll take a picture of this. I haven't done mountains in a long time. We did several last year. But they're kind of fun to do because you have to remember that the mountain slants down towards you, so the bottom is going to be stronger in value and color. And as it goes up, it gets cooler and not as much value change. But the lake, toning the lake a little bit more really helped. What is the name of this lake or area again, Diane?
Lake Louise and Banff.
Okay.
So Diane, I went back to my photos
Uh-huh.
and I have this exact shot,
Oh, do
except
you-
taken a few feet to the left, so that fourth peak that that we ditched,
Yeah.
and mine's in horizontal format. So
Oh, okay.
they're all in there.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we do have a tendency of ourselves taking things more horizontal than
Yeah,
vertical.
Yeah.
But even when I'm out shooting with the phone, I take it vertical and horizontal to make sure I'm not missing anything.
well, that's good. Yeah,
And sometimes I'll sit down on the ground and take the picture again for a different perspective.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
get up on Marilee's shoulders and take it from up high.
Or maybe on your shoulders.
Excuse me. Well, my picture was taken 50 some years ago.
Oh,
More
wow.
than 50. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the shoreline and the trees and the peaks, I mean, they're all there.
Yeah.
So
Well, the logs really don't deteriorate when they're in the water.
but
Um,
oh yeah, so that's the other thing. I don't, because it's horizontal, I don't have the logs and the rocks. So this
Oh,
is a
okay.
much better
All right.
this is a much better shot than
Okay.
than what I
Yeah,
Okay, with
the they harvest a lot of logs up in Maine that have from the old logging days that sunk to the bottom of the rivers and the lakes, and they reuse them because they didn't deteriorate.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
They dry them out a little bit and they cut them up, or they'll build log homes with them.
Mhm.
It's amazing what they can do with logs that have been submerged because there's nothing that decayed on them.
That in Back Bay, Boston, that was filled in, and
Yes.
they're very cautious about the wood drying out.
Yeah. Yeah, we were up in the Hancock building or whatever it is out there in Boston, and they
Uh-huh.
showed on how much land there was when they first got there and how much there is now, and the steps they took to fill it in.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Well,
It's
it's
a
like,
cool town. My brother lived in Back Bay, and they were ripping up his street when I was
Oh,
18. And it was like an archaeological dig because all the layers down to the cobblestones from probably the 1700s.
wow.
Very cool.
Okay, Dale, this is as far as I've got.
all right, that's good. Um, you have these two reflections here being equal.
Oh, do I? Okay.
This is less. This is more.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is a little
so
bit bigger. This is smaller.
yeah, so take this one down.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. I mean, I just lifted that out. I was like, oh, I got to get that reflection there. Okay, but
I've done that too. I lift
there
it
it
out and
goes
I go, well,
again.
that was too much.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's getting there, Diane. The foreground has a lot of promise. It's not going to look like this.
Right.
There's other things you can do with it, and it'll be fine.
And
you're-
I think this will be a good one. I can do it since we don't have class next week.
yeah, yeah, I forgot all about that. They have so many festivals and activities going up here all next week
Well, it's
Wow.
because it's 250th anniversary.
Oh, sure.
course.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are going all out like you wouldn't believe. I haven't seen that many things going on up here ever before. And
Wow.
we should be celebrating that.
Yeah.
Yep, with all of our things that we've done and continue to do, we still survived, which is amazing in some cases. But yeah, it's something that with all of our faults, we're still doing well.
all of our warts.
All of our warts.
All of our warts. Yeah. I like that. Before I forget, I'm going to have to miss the next class, July 9th.
Okay.
So I will have to do that session on my own watching Zoom, I guess.
Yeah, that will be the first phase of the 2 week.
Yeah.
So,
Send you.
you know, you're going to get the video, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what is saving grace on that is the video, and you're going to also show me what you've done. You
Mhm.
can send me that before class,
Sure. Yeah.
and I can make some suggestions.
We'll do.
But remember, I don't know what we're doing yet, to be truthful. But
Okay.
start off going light.
Yes.
And you were one of the few students that go too dark. Usually people go too light.
I'm going to put a post-it notes all over. Go light, go light.
Yeah, I used to do that as a student just to remind myself. And I got that idea from my life drawing teacher.
Ah,
Post things in front of you to remind you and think of it as the instructor talking to you.
yes. Well, when I look at the Zoom at the video, I will listen for you to say go light, Diane.
Okay, I will point that out. Because we always talk about people that are not there.
Yes, he talked about
I know. Have you ever done like a cityscape?
Yes, I have. I've done my first real cityscape was in Cortona, Italy, for the husband and wife that I worked for at the greenhouse.
Ah,
And they gave me terrible pictures. They were gray and colorless and so forth. And so Marilee did her thing, looked it up on the internet, found the same angle shot on a nice day with some festival going on. And I added a lot more color. And she didn't want people in the streets. And I says, it's Italy. People got to be in the streets. So I have Marilee and I walking down the street, and those two are ahead of us down the street.
Nice.
And she just fell in love with the painting.
oh, nice.
they would always buy a piece of art when they went to Europe.
Yeah, they always bought a piece of art when they went to Europe.
Oh,
This time they came back and had me do it for them.
I was just thinking I have taken a couple of pictures off my balcony of an amazing sunset and an amazing sunrise. And it just always intrigued me as to how I might deal with that.
Well, we could do sunrise, sunset sometime in the future. There's a lot of color you have to use.
Yeah. And the buildings don't have to be designated precisely.
All right.
I mean, with all the little windows and stuff, you can
Yeah.
suggest it, right?
Yes.
The
Yeah, you don't
cityscape
want
would be
to
fun.
overdo it in that fashion.
Okay, here's where it's at. Ooh.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
You could be a little bit heavier over here with the color.
A little bit heavier over. Really?
Yes.
Kept pulling it back because I didn't want it to get as dark as the middle.
Well, you want it a little bit darker.
Then the middle?
No, off to the side here. Down
Right.
the middle. Down the middle is darker than it's off to the sides. Yes.
Right. That's what I
Um,
did. So if I do it darker, it's going to be darker than the middle.
tease it in. You might have to darken the middle a little bit then.
Okay, but the middle's supposed to be lighter than the far right.
Yes, it is.
You are really demanding.
Well, what can I tell you?
I'll get it the next step.
We'll get it the next step. I'm trying to look for something here that it's around here someplace. I've done small towns, street scenes and so forth
Oh,
before.
We did one when you were really, really sick. I don't know if you remember. It was one, and it was like you pulled it off the internet. It looked like a very quaint town in Europe. You were super sick.
Oh, that was a nice one, wasn't it?
That's Cortona, Italy.
oh, wow.
Yeah, I did another one in Italy too.
Yeah, I can dig it up.
Marilee and I are up front. They're just indications of people.
That
walking
is
down the street.
wonderful. Yeah. That's
Look
great.
at that. Hmm.
But that was a lot of angles in here.
Yeah.
And I had to add on to this building here because it wasn't in the photograph. So there's always something you have to add.
Yeah.
Here it is.
And this one was done
Oh, wow.
at Hope, Alaska.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's nice
So that
too.
would be
Oh,
fun,
I like
too.
that. Yeah.
Half the town went down in the earthquake in '64.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
They'd like to do that one day. They said they'd like.
Yeah, you might want to do this one someday too.
Yeah,
No,
that's
they-
So
really
Dale, this was the one, the day you were super sick.
Oh yeah, I was.
And you drew this man that was so sickly because you felt sick. Mine came out
Oh,
as
yeah,
a woman.
was getting over the flu.
Oh,
He was, I have never heard him so sick.
oh.
Yeah, his painting didn't turn out. That's how sick he was.
Oh.
It's like, I'm so sorry. We're like, we can't even believe you're doing
Well,
the class.
what can I say?
Hey, you were amazing.
Well, no, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, my painting turned out okay. That's the most important thing, right? I mean,
All right. I gotta find the picture again where I'm at here. There we go. All right. What we're going to do next is we're going to finish up the background somewhat. And I'm going to take the white gouache. This is the scary part. No, I'm just kidding. Take the white gouache, and I'm going to add a little bit of the ultramarine blue to it, so we don't have pure white. And I'm going to add a little bit of raw sienna to this to get it to gray, and a little bit more white. And I'm going to make a soupy consistency down here of this. One a little bit grayer. Add a little bit of burnt sienna to it. Now we're there. Now I'm going to make sure I have the paper towel ready. And I'm going to float this. This is quite watery. This is what you call working translucently. Across the mountain. And you can always add more water to it to make it flow. Now this is what you would do to float pigment on top with the gouache, is you'd like to get it to a certain point where it just sort of flows on top by itself. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I want to use a little bit of the ultramarine blue and the burnt sienna, just a slight bit, to drop in here to break up some of the stuff that went flowing too far. And I keep on wiping our brush off so I have better control. But you can get some interesting soft values with this. But it just gives enough of that foggy feeling up in there. I'm going to take a little bit of that and I'm going to float it down the mountain here a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the white thicker with the raw sienna in it. And a little bit of the blue there, just to gray it down. And I'm going to add the little bit of the white snow. That is up in here. And I'm looking at the approximation of where it's at. and try to balance it off at the same time. And fingers work nice, even though some people don't believe in it. Now, we have at the bottom of the lake right here, I'm going to take the white with the manganese, and we have that nice light reflection there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to put it down right about there above the paper, like so. And I'm going to run a straight line, as straight as I can get it, running across, like so. One of the few times I would actually do something like this, but I feel it needs to be fairly straight. This one I can just sort of fuzz in right here. And I feel that that's somewhat important to the painting.
Wait a minute, what'd you do with the pencil? I got lost.
I put it above the paper
Uh-huh.
like this. I ran my
Oh, I see.
and
Yeah,
then I
got it.
ran it like this so that I could paint a straight line.
Yes.
We used to do that when I was in college for some of our architectural renderings that we were
Yes.
required to do.
Yeah.
And you could get some interesting effects. The only thing I would do it in small areas like this only, that's why I always say draw everything freehand, because if you use a ruler to draw buildings and what have you, you lose the character of the line, and you don't really want to do that. You always need to show some of the character of the line that you have when you're painting. So I'm adding a few more accents of this light up in here. I don't want to overdo it because it will come forward on me. But I think that's about where I want it to be in the background, because otherwise it's going to overtake it. So I'm going to take this same light here and I'm going to add that on the painting itself with a little bit of raw sienna in it. So I don't want it too cool. It's up front. And I'm going to add some of the highlights to the logs in here. And I can also add in some other smaller logs, but I'm going to highlight some of these. Instead of lifting it out, I'm going to highlight them with the gouache and the raw sienna. Now, the reason why I have the raw sienna is that the warmer color with the white will pull it forward. Like I say, you could play with this all day on just this type of handling, because it takes a kind of a longer time. You can play with it after class quite a bit if you want to. Now, I'm going to take the raw sienna without the white and a little bit of the burnt sienna. That's too much. and add some raw sienna to it. And I'm going to add some warm color by a little gray down with that blue gray I had up here. And I'm going to go ahead and tone some of these logs so they're not all the same. Add a little bit more of the gouache in here. Jeez.
What? Okay.
Poppy drinking her water.
No, it's not water. I gave her some. I had
Oh,
some of that big Spanish soup left.
gotcha. Reminds me of a guy at the tavern drinking his whiskey.
It's mostly broth with some egg in it. You know how she loves it.
Yep. So I'm going to take the burnt sienna with a little bit of the ultramarine blue. And I'm going to kind of give this a tone underneath here, a little bit more ultramarine blue, so that what goes into the shadow on the logs, and emphasize certain darks here and there on the logs. Occasionally I'll look at the photo at this point, but not a whole lot. And I don't want to overwork the logs at this point. And the other thing I needed to address that I forgot was I'm going to grab some of the green and some of the ultramarine blue, because this shrub up here is flat, and I want to darken it, give it some little bit more character to it, because it was sticking out too much on the side. And that's still too light, so I'll tone it down. And I'm going to use a little bit of green into the logs here, just a little bit. Won't hurt anything. It'll more or less bring out some of the color. So you have to remember, these are all bleached logs. And like a snow scene, it's going to pick up. The white will reflect a lot of color. Now I'm going to go into the rocks just to finish the rocks up, because I'm looking at the time, and yeah, that gives us a quick second study of the one we're doing after this. So I take some burnt sienna, some of the raw sienna, a little bit of the green, and I'm going to start by putting in a little bit of blue. And again, I'm not over defining the rocks. I want them, I'm adding a few little darks in between the logs, only up front, closest to us. Small accents of dark, nothing more than that. And that will bring it forward just a little bit more.
Are we including gouache in this? Are we back to
I did only a little bit in here. Where I
Uh-huh.
used most of the gouache was back here and a little bit on the logs. I'll
Okay, now
decide.
we're just back to watercolor, right?
Yes, I'm back. I'm sorry, I'm back to watercolor.
Okay.
I was in my mind. I probably didn't speak it. That happens every now and then.
I'm not saying anything.
What do you mean?
Hmm.
So I'm darkening up some of the rocks up front here.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend too much time on this for the fact that you could spend too much time on it. And you notice I'm making kind of trails of color. They're not so much next to one another, but they are kind of moving along here a little bit. A little bit different than what's up front here. I'm going to darken this rock in a little bit more. And I want to see what it looks like without the tape on. Because we got to get on to the second one here, which we got basically an hour and 15 minutes. Come on. There we go. I left the tape on here all week, which I probably shouldn't have done with the indigo. So I'm being careful about lifting and pulling away from the painting, because I have torn up a few paintings over the years with this paper. Like I said, I could probably do more with the rocks, but if I make the rocks too strong with definition, it's going to take away from moving softly into the background. It's abruptly going to stay too much in a rock area. So that's why I did not work the rocks or overwork the rocks. Because you could, then you have to make all sorts of other adjustments which could drive you a little bit on the insane side. So I'm adding a little bit of white paint with the raw sienna, and I'm going to add a few little accents of lights along some of the tops of the logs here. Dry brush a little bit. Accentuate a few of the branches that were still stuck to the log or adhering. But just those few little lights here and there can illuminate it just enough to make it. And I'm doing small dots and dashes. Some of the longer passages I will stripe the log a little bit, but not too much. And be careful not to do it everywhere. So I think we're at the point where we should stop. And I'm going to You could take a picture of this. There we go. And I'm going to get the second one ready. I'm going to clean up my mess. And ouch. We're going to have to turn the video off. We won't lose you. And start a new video.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna be the same video.
It's going to be the same video, but
I'm turning it, we have to rotate the camera.
we have to rotate the camera is what it is. Because we're doing a horizontal now, landscape.
So Dale, here's where I am.
That's good.
Yeah, I think I'll leave it until, I'll get the video and see if
Okay.
there's more
Yeah.
pages. But okay, good. I like this scene. I'm glad we did it. So
Nice. Yeah. This is
Okay.
where I am right now.
All right. And what you can do with the gouache and so forth is you can define these a little bit more.
Okay.
I feel that this needs to be darker in here, which
Okay.
I'll put in later and send you that too.
Okay.
But I'm looking at a time factor at this point.
Sure. Sure.
I don't want to short you at all. What do you got, Janet?
Not machines. All right, there's where I'm at, but I'm gonna have to clean off my palette.
yeah, I need
Yeah,
it
all you
too.
need to do is add a few more lights to the logs
Good.
Tried doing that.
with a little bit of gouache, and you'll be fine.
Right. That's what I was doing, but I
Okay.
was using the gouache with the raw sienna.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing, but
Okay.
wasn't light enough.